The CIA is in search of extraterrestrial space alien spacecraft of Atlantis. These are the allegations. The legend of Atlantis, and found in the midst of many civilizations dating back thousands of years, an important factor thanks to which great attention was paid to the subject was Plato, who of ancient Greece, who referred to the city, the continent of Atlantis, and described it as a large island beyond the Pillars of Hercules. And much has been written about Atlantean technology, including that the lost continent had submarines, motor-powered flying vehicles, and a mysterious power crystal that powered the central city. The first book on the possibility of flying ships was published by William Scott Elliott in the History of Atlantis and the Lost Lemuria. It was published in 1909. Scott Elliott describes the incredible technology in aircraft that floated in the sky with a silent magnitude using a force that was lost in antiquity and is still unknown today. However, he does not rely on objects, texts, or physical facts to support his incredible claims. Scott Elliott foretells Atlantis' advanced technology in periodic psychic sessions now called remote viewing. Remote viewing, which was trusted by the CIA and the Pentagon in a program called Stargate, came from decades of work by leading scientists such as the genius Michael Faraday. American physicists Harold E. Puthoff and Russell Targ collaborated with the Electronics and Biotechnology Lab at the Stanford Research Institute, and as their research began to produce measurable results, the Pentagon immediately showed interest. At the same time, the CIA and the Secret Service followed the course of paramount and psychic experiments conducted by the Soviets and the Chinese. Scott Elliott used a technique similar to remote projection to distinguish exactly what the Atlanteans did and how their society worked. He also investigated the water shortage of Lemuria. In his book on the construction of aircraft carriers, he wrote this: "The material with which the airships were built was made of wood or metal. The previous ones were made of wood and the platforms used are extremely thin, but the injection of a substance that did not contribute to the weight gave hardness like leather with the necessary combination of lightness and strength. When metal was used, it was generally an alloy. 2 white and 1 red metal were added to its composition. The result was white like aluminum and lighter in weight. A large sheet of this metal was spread over the rough structure of the ship, which was then forged into the form and electrically welded where necessary. However, if it was made of metal or wood, its outer surface was perfectly smooth and obviously without problems, and shone in the dark as if it were coated with a light paint. They were shaped like a boat, but they were usually always covered because if they were going at full speed, it could not be convenient, even safe, for anyone who stayed on the upper deck. The propellers and steering gear could start at either end." End quote. The fact that the Atlanteans may have had planes is supported by some information that survived the destruction of the Great Library of Alexandria in Egypt. The surviving scroll pieces seem to give a detailed account of ancient history lost in modern times. It's also believed by some scholars that Atlantis coexisted with the superstate of ancient India 15 to 20,000 years ago. These two countries may in fact have had trade agreements, and if the Rama Empire referred to today actually had flying vimana, then the Atlanteans probably had their own spacecraft. Those involved in similar world mysteries often referred to the Indian and Atlantic empires. Quote, "The so-called Rama Empire of northern India and Pakistan developed at least 15,000 years ago on the Indian subcontinent and was a nation of many large and complex cities, many of which can still be found in the deserts of Pakistan, North and West India. The Rama culture apparently coexisted with the Atlantean civilization in the Atlantic Ocean and is ruled by enlightened priest kings who ruled the cities. The 7 major capitals of Rama were known in classical Hindu texts. End quote. But the skeptics of Atlantis' existence, and even more so of the existence of Atlantis aircraft, are legions. It's doubtful that they were ever accept the data of the ancient aircraft unless some archaeological excavation discovers them by chance in the future. However, according to the above, and in combination with other information of declassified documents of the CIA and other secret services, their great interest in Atlantis, Mars, Tesla, and many more can be seen. If they were as meaningless and as degrading as they are today, would you say they showed much interest? Would they show such interest? This is translated from a Greek article. Please leave your comments and thank you for your support. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.